Welcome everyone to another video for Midian Gaming. Today we are tackling Vampire: The Eternal Struggle. We are continuing the series where I go through the collection that we got and just start picking out some cards in the alphabetical order. So currently I'm going through the A's and cards that I may not have seen used ever or only infrequently. And let's just talk about them and see what I pick out, yeah? All right. Let's take a look at the first one, not waste any time. Adaptability. It is a Protean card, and this vampire treats all aggravated damage from the opposing minion strike as normal damage. And at the advanced, they prevent all aggravated damage from the opposing minion strike. It costs 1 blood. Look, if your meta is very high aggravated or you're expecting aggravated in an upcoming tournament, this could be a very good card. Note that at basic it really doesn't prevent any damage, and you need it at advanced in order to do that, and it's costing you 1. Prevent all aggravated damage from the opposing minion strike. So if it comes across as normal damage, you're not actually preventing that damage. So the minor ability makes the aggravated normal damage, and the advanced just prevents all aggravated damage. So look, I think there's a reason. Look, the artwork on it is fantastic. It's just, I don't see this card as a staple in just about any deck. This is very much a meta card to be used, and if I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comments, yeah? I think I'm pretty assured of this one. I haven't seen it ever used, and that's probably the reason why, yeah? Our metas have never really had that much aggravated. They've been aggro, but not aggravated. And even when they have, it doesn't form part of the meta because usually those decks start to fail in other areas. All right. What's the next one? The Admonitions. Let's read it. So it's a master card, a unique master. Put this card in play. Lock to discard 1 card if you control a ready Sabbat vampire. Lock to draw 2 cards if you control a ready Black Hand vampire. During your discard phase, control of the Admonitions passes counterclockwise until it is controlled by a Methusa who controls a ready Sabbat vampire, or burned if there are none. Oh, okay, so it's great. A bit like the Sphinx. Draw 2 cards. Draw cards if you control already Black Hand. So during the discard phase, or lock to discard 1 card if you control already Sabbat vampire. That's pretty good, like the Barons, yeah? Getting cards and everything. Look, this master isn't costing you anything. At the discard phase, it passes counterclockwise until it is controlled by a Methusa who controls a ready Sabbat vampire or is burned if there are none. So most likely the card's going to get 1 use, be burned. Costs you nothing. You got 2 cards in 1 to 2 cards in hand, and you know, go down to the maximum again. But it allows you to cycle. I like this card. It's not bad. Like with the Barons, you're paying for it. This one, you're not paying for it, and you're getting the benefits as long as you are Sabbat or Black Hand. The best benefit is coming if you've got the Black Hand. So playing this and Barons, you could really be turboing that cycle to actually get the cards you need at any certain time. If you're playing Asher Tablets, then you could get those cards back into your deck for a late game push for the extra points that you need to take out a game. So that's just one strategy I would look at with the Admonitions, just firing off the top of my head with that one, yeah? All right, next card. We're looking at about 6 cards today, all right? Agent of Power, Master Discipline. No, Master Discipline, Trifle, unique. Put this card on a vampire you control and choose a discipline. This vampire gains 1 level of that discipline. Burn this card during your discard phase. So it's a discipline for 1 turn. Doesn't cost you anything though. I think this is a pretty good card. I was just playing Daughters last week, and if I could get 1 more level of a particular discipline, being either Fortitude or Melpomene, I believe their one is, or the Voice, you know, things may have gone different in one of the turns if I had this trifle card. Remember, trifle allows you to also play a master card as well. So look, it's all right, it's good. The fact that you have to burn the card during the discard phase, it is what it is, but you do it for that power turn where a Shattering Crescendo matters, or, you know, an ensemble, or any of that matters, and you need that ability, then yeah, this is a pretty all right card to actually do that, especially if you other vampires are needed for other things. Yeah, I like it. Let's take a look at the next one. Aramance Protectorate. Now, Aramance, I haven't really come across Aramance. I think I've seen them in one game against me. Cannot even remember them. I'm not a Gangrel player. The only animalism I play towards is with Nosferatu up until this point. But let's see what this Aramance card does. You need an Aramance to play it. +1 stealth action, unique. Put this card in play, and this Aramance may burn 1 blood to unlock at the end of the action. Nice, freak drive. You may burn this card to cause a D action directed at an ally or location you control to fail. You may burn this card during a D action against you to give an Aramance you control +1 intercept. It's a good card. You don't have to pay for this. It is taking an action to get it on the Aramance, or no, put this card in play. Oh yes, and this Aramance may burn 1. So it's not a card separate in play to any Aramance, it's that Aramance in particular that gets the card. Look, this is quite good. It is unique. That's unfortunate. I could see a whole deck with a whole bunch of these going in and really causing a bit of problems. So yeah, it doesn't mean you can't have quite a few of them in the deck. You just can't have them out in play. But if you're using these, like, you would play this, you'd burn 1 to 1 tap and then be available for the intercept or to protect. I'd have to see what the rest of the deck does, but even 1 or 2 in a deck is very, very handy. Getting that +1 intercept standard is very nice, and causing D actions to fail is always a good thing. Yeah. All right. Card number 5, Aramance Demesne. All right, or Demens, whatever we want to call it. It is Obtenebration. It does cost 2 blood, so it's expensive. Not usable the first round of combat. Ouch. Right, only usable at long range. So look at all these hoops you're going through. You need Obtenebration. You need the blood to pay for this. You cannot use it on the first round of combat, and you can only use it at long range. It's 1 aggravated damage. And as above, and if the opposing minion is a vampire and will go to torpor during the resolution of this strike, he or she is burned instead. This is not considered diablerie. All right, so I was going to say, look, why won't you just go an ivory bow and be done with it? But look, the advanced one of this would go to torpor during the resolution of the strike, he or she is burned instead. Could you imagine coming up against something like a Salot, getting through the second round that hasn't been Majestied or anything like that, and doing the advance on this? You're doing the 1 aggravated, sending him to torpor, but then burning him outright. Your opponent, who's invested 11 pull into that, is crying at this point. Yeah, look, it's a good card. I can definitely see decks being made around it. Who would want to block this vampire that potentially shows that they were able to do this to a big vampire and then consistently comes for more bleeds? You'd be so worried about blocking it if you didn't have an end combat or any presses to actually end that first round of combat. You'd be wanting to bounce bleeds, and then this deck would, after that meta changes due to something like that, would have to start looking at rushes in order to do these type of things, in order to control their prey and what they're doing. It's pretty good. And remember, this kind of stuff can be used also in defense. So when that predator's coming towards to bleed you and you find yourself in combat or stopping something else, you can really hold them up. But you don't want to, yeah, it's one of those things, yeah, the table politics. You make yourself a target by what you do if you come out strong too early, yeah? So really depends on how this card is used and where it's used. All right. Let's keep going on to the last card I've got, AKVC. Look, it's 5 pull to cost, not blood, but your pull. So very expensive, possibly never used without a discount. 2R damage each strike with an optional maneuver each combat. When bearer strikes with this gun, he or she gets an optional additional strike limited this round only, usable to strike with this gun. So remember, if you are using the maneuver of a weapon, you have to use the weapon. So in that first round of combat, most likely you're moving out to long range, doing 2R damage. You don't need celerity, you get an optional additional strike for another 2 damage. So 4 damage on most vampires is a big thing. So yeah, look, the price of it is prohibitive. You could be spending that to bring out another vampire, which could be doing a lot more. However, like I said, there's cards, there's abilities out there to get equipment for half price or less than the price that this has on it. I have made some fun decks, namely a Samedi deck that came out with a AK-47, and then I think that was stolen off me, and then she went and armed with a flamethrower, which is crazy when you look at the pool investment in that. It's just a crazy amount of pool invested in just weapons. But gun decks are a thing, and AK-47 works well with that, as you're not having to use, if you don't want to use, that celerity card in regards to getting extra additional strikes. It's a good one, doing 4 potential damage. If you've got an AK-47 and carrying crows, you're creating a lot of problems for the opponent, yeah? That's it, people. What were your thoughts? I love doing these videos, so I'm interested in your thoughts as well. Should I continue them? Well, that's not going to matter. I will continue them. I'm sure you do like them, but if I've missed anything or you want to add anything, put it down in the comments. If you want to support the video, give it a thumbs up if you like it. And supporting our channel, it's a second of your time. It's a lifetime of love for us if you subscribe, okay? Have a great one, guys. Going to be doing more of these now that the new year is upon us and there's less distraction. So see you all on the next video. Bye-bye.